Hi, and welcome to Finding Your Flow, the podcast. My name is Jen, and I'm your host. I'm inviting you here to intuitively lead and live your most aligned and expansive life. I'm an intuitive business and leadership advisor for heart-centered, impact-driven leaders, entrepreneurs, and businesses. And I'm also a supporter of women's empowerment and animal rescue work. Unlocking flow and supporting you through your next level of growth and transformation is my superpower. I found my own freedom and flow through entrepreneurship over a decade ago. And on this podcast, I'll be sharing stories and insights through the lens of my expertise and my personal experience, and through inspiring conversations with my special guests. I'll be helping you navigate your most important asset, your intuition, supporting you in getting unstuck and staying on your most successful and aligned path. I want you to leave with aha moments, deep insights, clarity on your next steps, and more importantly, an inner knowing that where you are right now is perfectly aligned. Life needs you where you're at your best.
Hi everyone, it's Jen. Welcome back to the podcast. I am actually recording this morning. I'm having my first coffee outside. So I don't know where you're tuning in from, but I'm living in Canada, so it has been cold since now, but I'm actually able to have my first coffee outside this morning, and I was inspired to record outside. What you hear right now around me, the birds, the nature, all of that, my dogs playing on the patio, Bailey currently eating a bone, all of that is one of my main sources of inspiration. And it's really what sparks insights for me, clarity, ideas. And so I just like sitting out here is like my little bunker, my little haven. So it felt really right to talk about leadership this morning, which is what I want to talk about really. So victimization is something that we often don't see that we're doing ourselves. Like it's something that we might see ourselves having done it in the past, in like really specific concrete situations. But we fall into victimization a lot more than we think. And even like today, you're probably falling into it in a very kind of unconscious way quite often. And this topic for me is important to talk about because it's directly related to leadership, because the antidote to victimization is leadership. And there's active victimization and there's passive victimization. And the passive victimization is the one that we don't see very often. It's the one that's in our blind spot. And so active victimization is going to be something like, we're frustrated about something and we complain about it, or we're feeling like we're being taken advantage of, and we're, like just feeling frustrated and complaining about it instead of actually doing something to change that situation. Passive victimization is going to be more like us settling for something that doesn't make us happy, or settling for something that is causing us pain, settling for something that is not fulfilling us, and just not doing anything about it. Like really just sitting back and letting it happen. And for me, leadership is the antidote to all of this, both the active and the passive victimization, whether we're seeing it or not. So I would say, like, what's most important about this podcast episode is really just on a day-to-day basis, asking yourself, how can you step into your leadership more and more every single day? And it doesn't have to be in big ways all the time. It can be in very, very small ways often. And stepping into your leadership means leading the direction that you want things to take, making decisions that are going to end things that are not serving you, moving in a new direction that is going to feel more aligned to you. So it's really, like at the end of the day, it's really up to us to, and this sounds really basic, but we forget sometimes. And this has happened to me like so many times in the past, where I've just stayed too long somewhere that doesn't feel good to me. And I end up just like turning in circles in this frustration and complaining and anger and resentment, and not trusting myself enough to step out of that and into something new. And that's like where so I actually see that there's active leadership and there's passive leadership. So I want to talk about both of these as well, because both are really important. So first, let's just circle back to the victimization piece. I know this is something hard to admit sometimes, because none of us want to feel like we're being a victim in our life, but it's not like, I think that it's important to sort of de-dramatize victimization. It's not like, you falling into victimhood or victim mode it's nothing bad. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's something that happens to all of us, because stepping into your leadership requires a lot of faith, a lot of trust, a lot of courage, and the capacity to take risks. So it's not something that's always easy. It's much easier to just sit back into the victim seat, and even the passive one is even easier, because it doesn't actually feel like we're actively playing the victim. It just feels like we're just kind of quietly sitting back and pretending nothing is happening. So yeah, just pay attention. Like, pay attention to where you're not feeling good in your life. Pay attention to what doesn't feel aligned. Pay attention to even things that just feel like meh, it's not bad, but it's not super exciting. Like, I think it's fair to say that we can be aligned with things that feel good to us. Like, it doesn't have to be just meh. Like, I don't believe in settling for just okay. I think that there's a way, and that we all can be experiencing life in a much deeper and more fulfilling and exciting way. So just start to pay attention to those things and see, like, where can you step more into your leadership, so that you are not settling or staying actively in something that does not feel good and aligned and exciting to you. So if we think about leadership now, the active and the passive leadership, both are really, really, really important. So active leadership is literally you taking action to move something forward, to make a decision, to change directions, to say yes or say no to something. Like, that's active leadership. And it's coming from within you. So for me, intuitive leadership is really, really important. Sorry, I'm just grabbing a sip of coffee there, because I can smell it, and it was smelling really nice. So it has to come from a place of deep knowing, of yes, of intuition, of like, you don't want to be like taking actions and decisions and steps forward for something that doesn't feel like a yes to you is not, for me, is not really even a reflection of good leadership. It has to come from a knowing inside that this is what is best for you to do. And what's highest and best for you is always what's highest and best for others as well. Now, passive leadership is something that is equally important, because sometimes leadership is going to look like not doing anything yet. It's going to look like waiting. It's going to look like putting things into the hands of the universe or source or whatever you want to call it, because it's actually not up to you in this moment to do anything about this. That is also leadership. Passive leadership can also be letting someone else step forward first. So it's equally important, because if we think about it, and I talk about this often, this whole idea of like intention, action, and letting go, when it's time to do each of those. And I talk about that in my masterclass on my website. So if you go to jenniferjaneyoung.com/masterclass, I have a 30-minute masterclass there where I just explain this idea of like
making things happen through intention, action, and letting go. And there's a moment for each of those. And it's not always about taking action. Sometimes it's about, stepping back and actually tapping into your intuition again, into your creativity. And sometimes it's about really just letting go. So each of those, yes, my dog's chasing a squirrel. Each of those are important in different moments. So yeah, that's what passive leadership would look like. And it's really important sometimes, because actually sometimes the best way to align yourself is by not doing anything. It's by waiting. So I'm going to give you an example of something that happened to me lately. I've been exploring this sort of clean eating, this new way of like cleaner eating to support my skin. And I found these beautiful products called JS Health, I think. Yeah, I think they're called JS Health. Anyways, it's a company from Australia, and I saw them months ago, and my intuition was like, yes, oh my God, yes, these products. I could feel that, like, it was an intuitive yes, that these products would be aligned for what I needed. But for some reason, it did not feel like a yes to order them right away. I could feel it in my body that, like, this is an aligned product, but for some reason it did not feel like it was a good time to order them. So I kept them, like, bookmarked, but I never ended up ordering them. And instead I was called to start this 3-month program of clean eating, and I did that for about 4 or 5 months. And that program actually got me to do all of the foundational changes that were important to heal my skin first, which was like, stopping to eat all of the inflammatory foods and introducing like new foods that were going to actually be really beneficial to me. And like, this is, when you do this kind of work for your health and your skin, it's like the foundational stuff that needs to happen first. So I've done all that, and that is like now my new lifestyle. And this week I was on Instagram following an actress that I really love, and she was making a video about these products, the JS Health products, that she had started to use for her hair and that she absolutely loved. And they had like amazing results. And I was like, oh my God, so funny that these products are showing back up, in front of me right now. And I went on the website, and it was like an immediate, like, yes, order these products right now. It took me like literally 30 seconds to make the decision, because I knew already that these were intuitively aligned for me. And now I was like, okay, now is the right moment. And so I ordered them, and they're on their way. So that is like, an example of personal leadership in my personal life. But that, for me, it was really important at the time for me to not order those products, even though they felt aligned, because, and I think my understanding from it now is that because I had not done the foundational work, they weren't going to have as big an impact as they would right now that the foundational work is done. So they're going to, work faster, I believe. I haven't tried them yet, but I'm very excited to receive them. I'm going to give you another example. There is, so through my business, I want to be able to support entrepreneurs and future entrepreneurs that need help getting started in a way that will not cost them anything to work with me or to get my support. So there's one person in particular right now that I feel really called to support. Like, it is a clear yes that I need to support this person in getting her business started. And it's like, I want her under my wing. I want to be her mentor. I have so many ideas. It is such a clear yes for me. But again, I keep feeling it's not right now. There's a piece of information missing. The timing is not quite right. There's something that is not quite aligned. So that for me is like, I know that I'm going to be stepping into my leadership to support this person, but it's not right now because there's something missing. It's like that little needle is not quite pointing in the right direction yet. So I'm honoring that, and I'm honoring my passive leadership, stepping back, letting my intuition guide me to when it's going to be the right moment to actually do this so that it has the biggest impact. And this is where it's really important to be able to tap in and know when it's time for active and passive leadership, because it's important for the impact that it's going to have. This is the geese flying home to Canada. Just a FYI on this, when geese are flying home, it's like a total breath of relief for us, because it means that spring is here and warm weather is on its way. So yeah, it's really important for the impact that your actions are going to take by taking them in the right moment. So yeah, I think that kind of wraps up everything I wanted to share about, actively being a victim, passively being a victim, actively being a leader, passively being a leader, and why it's really important to be aware of both kind of ways of falling into victimization, and then how important it is to know when it's time to be an active leader or a passive leader as you're moving forward in your life and your business. So I hope this inspires you. Feel free to, DM me after an episode. I always love hearing feedback or having questions or whatever that is. And yeah, if you would like to kind of dive deeper into this stuff with me and other amazing entrepreneurs, there is something that I just recently launched called the Flow Facilitation Experience. And it's a 3-month journey together with me and other entrepreneurs where it's pretty much, getting you into your own flow, getting you aligned so that you can be creating the biggest impact, living the life that is most fulfilling to you through entrepreneurship. And we have like a once a month mastermind sort of session where it's like our intensive flow facilitation session. And there's card pulling, intuitive readings, there's mentoring and coaching. And we really just look at where you're at right now in your life and your business, where you feel stuck, where you're looking for your alignment, and we just support you through all of that. So it's really for people who are feeling that they're on the edge of transformation, and they're just looking for that thing that's going to get them leaping forward, or someone who's feeling kind of stuck and they're looking for more alignment in their life and in their business. And we also have a once a month intuitive happy hour session where we get together and we connect and we network together and we support each other and we help each other just kind of, align with the things that we need to align with, whether that's, clients or a person or an opportunity, whatever that is. And we have a Facebook group where we connect in between all of these sessions. It's really great. So anyways, if you want to learn more about that and get the full details, you can email me at jennifer@jenniferjaneyoung.com and I will send you the details and an invitation. And I will see you on the next episode. It was nice to have you here. Thank you so much for spending time with me here today. I want to leave you with this little bit of wisdom. The actions you're not willing to take or the decisions you're not willing to make are the ones that will change your life. Trust your intuition, take the leaps, follow what you know to be true, even if it's not always easy or convenient. Your words mean the world to me, so if you have a moment, please share them by leaving a review of the podcast or sending me a testimonial. And I would love if you would share this episode wherever you feel called to. If you want to connect with me, you can find me over at jenniferjaneyoung.com or on Instagram at jennifer.jane.young.